If there are no longer any guarantees for the length of your life, then what you should be doing is filling your life with as much as you possibly can. And you can't get that sitting in a hospital room or sitting at home in the lounge all the time.
I was about 15 when I was first diagnosed, and I was getting headaches. And I went to the doctors and had a blood test, and it turned out my red blood cells were quite low. That's why I was getting the headaches. And got rushed into hospital and was told that I had leukemia. But it didn't really kind of register what it was. I didn't understand, didn't know anything about it, didn't understand what it was. Being a teenager when you get cancer or anything like that, it's right when you're getting your independence, and it's right when you're kind of finding out what kind of person you are and what you're going to grow into, and you kind of get all that taken away from you, so they do a good job of giving some of that back to you. They build specialist units for teenagers, because you've got the children's unit and you've got an adult unit, but you don't get a middle ground. There's no teenage unit, and you don't want to be in a little children's unit where you've got fluffy teddy bears and stuff like that on the walls. And alternatively, you don't want to be on an adult unit where you've got old people moaning. So yeah, like I say, it's a bit like a youth club, just kind of chilling out. And it's nice to meet other people who are the same age as you go, so it doesn't feel like you're the only person going through it. But I was clear for 5 years after that, and 5 years is kind of the time that they tell you that if it hasn't come back now, it's not going to come back. I was working at the time. Yeah, I went to the doctors for a checkup and realised it had come back. Found out on a Wednesday that I was ill again. I asked to have the weekend so I could be normal for the weekend. We went out partying into London, had a good old time.
I've got a lot of close friends who I've always said the medicine's fine and it's doing its job, but without friends and family, I wouldn't have come this far.
Being when I was first diagnosed, that bit younger, you kind of get all your decisions made for you. So big decisions about what treatment you have, and it was kind of shut up and take this kind of thing because it's going to make you better, whereas relapsing when I'm a bit older, you kind of have to make your own decisions, which is a bit scarier. I think it was my second course of chemo. I got unwell with a chest infection and was rushed in intensive care, where I went into a coma for a bit, and they gave me a certain drug that one of the side effects is it kind of slows down the circulation to your extremities, like your fingers and your hands, and my feet have died. I was given the choice to take my legs off or to leave it and risk getting an infection in them and see if anything came back, which I'm glad I did, because I kept my right leg and the foot, most of it apart from the toes, but lost my left leg, which at the time it was horrible, but you have to deal with it. It's just something you've got to live with and stuff, but you don't let it become the most important thing of your life. You get on with it, and just the fact that you're ill shouldn't slow you down or stop you. It was my dad who found out about it, The Dumball, through the charity. We'd done a lot of work with the charity in the past. He'd read about it and thought it'd be a good idea. And the fact that it was for the Teenage Cancer Trust this year was kind of the icing on the cake. And it's basically it's a drive from Brussels to Istanbul in a car that you get set a budget for about £400. Yeah, to begin with, I was a bit unsure whether I wanted to go. I didn't feel like I'd be able to, and even if I was, whether I'd enjoy it or not, because I'm in a wheelchair and because I'm not at my best at the moment. At the time, I wasn't feeling great anyways, and I kind of started to feel better and realised that it's a good opportunity. It'd be a good laugh.
Tread lightly on your way. You will see things no man could pay to see. If you harm the Dumball or its history by over-enthusiasm in reckless or dangerous driving, know it is your friends and future Dumballers who will suffer. As for ourselves, let's bring everyone home and leave Europe and Asia a better place for us having been there. Our business is now east.
If you sit around feeling sorry for yourself, or if you let stuff like that pass you by, then it might only happen once. And it's not just for people in situations like mine, it's anyone. Opportunities are there to be taken, and I'd rather go and not have a good time than not go and regret it afterwards. Everything's an experience and you learn from your mistakes, kind of thing. What doesn't break you only makes you stronger. Is that cheesy enough?